Guys, before this video starts, I want to tell you about this sick website that sells hella cheap NBA jerseys. The website is ringchasers.com. I copped myself a few jerseys on there a while back, and I honestly don't know how their prices are this cheap. If you guys want to get a sick deal on a jersey, make sure you check them out. Link will be in the description, and use code LQG at checkout for an extra 10% off. What's going on, guys? It's LQG, and today I'm back with another video. So today we have you guys NBA Legends pick between Michael, Magic, and Larry. Now, obviously for most people, the easy answer is going to be Michael Jordan, but it's interesting to see what these legends have to say about both Magic and Larry, as well as who they would take if they were starting their own team. Make sure to let me know down in the comments below who you would take and why. Also, make sure you guys smash the like button. Let's see if we get 100 likes on this video, and make sure to subscribe to the channel to catch all the new content. We are releasing daily content for the rest of 2021, so make sure you don't miss out. With that being said, let's get into NBA Legends pick between Magic, Michael, and Larry.
You'd have to go with Michael. One, because he's gonna have people want to watch him as well. To me, that's why it's a hard choice, because Michael was a player that everyone wanted to watch, even players. And I think, but Magic and Bird may be the guys that people want to play with more than maybe Michael.
So you're not saying nothing. Next.
No, I said Michael, though. I'll take Michael. Because individually, he's the best individual basketball player from top to bottom.
Well, defensively, it's not even close between those three, right? He's by far the best defender.
Without question.
The interesting thing to me about the argument is that it took Michael a while to learn how to really be part of a championship team. He scored right away, but Larry and Magic were ready to win right away. You know, I think guys played better around those two early on, whereas it took Michael a little time.
How do you make this decision? Do you look at rings now that everything is said and done in their careers? Do you look at rings? Do you look at just the magnetism and the guy who, they got it? You know, they understood what this game was about, the effort level, et cetera. What's the determining factor when you say, this is the guy? See?
For me, it's the fact of what you guys just brought up, who wants to play with other people on the team. And when I think of Magic Johnson, if I'm starting my team with the point guard that sat in the captain's chair and played center in every position in the game in the championship, there's no way I'm going against Magic. I have help defenders that can probably help. You know, you look at, all these guys are great, but you look at the first few years of all these guys, they all had great Hall of Famers, and maybe Mike didn't have that in the beginning, but to me, the one thing is Magic, being the leader that he is. One thing that is, maybe it is up for question, but Magic to me in the history of the game is one of the best leaders from what you've seen in his getting people energized, getting the crowd energized, the style of play. You ever notice when they scored how fast Magic Johnson got the ball up to half court? You know, those are showtime things, but you're setting up the play with 20 seconds on the clock, and just him getting everybody involved, knowing what buttons to push, and I don't know if anybody had his intangibles.
Chuck.
To me, it's Michael for two reasons. Number one, he won more championships, so I give him that. But look at who they played with. Bird played with the greatest front line ever, two other Hall of Famers. Played with Dennis Johnson, another Hall of Famer. Magic played with Kareem, James Ward, the two other Hall of Famers. Byron Scott was terrific. You know, Michael had Scott at the first time. They still won 3. Next time, you know, they had another Hall of Famer in Dennis Rodman. But when he had one Hall of Famer, he won 3. And then when he got Dennis Rodman, they won another 3. And I think people forget, he retired at his prime the first time. They probably would have won 2 more championships. And this guy was flat out scary. I don't even think it's close to saying who was the greatest basketball player ever. I think, to me, he's like the hockey of Wayne Gretzky of hockey. Like, his numbers are so much better than those other guys. Those other guys are great, don't get me wrong. But Michael, it just was an honor and pleasure to play against him.
How about Larry Bird in this equation, though? And tell me, when you watched Larry's game, Smitty, what it was that jumped out at you that has him held in such high regard throughout the NBA?
Well, I think, Ernie, like we all know, it's a tough decision with those 3 unbelievable players. But just to talk about Larry, for me to see the guy who can shoot the basketball, but then also be able to change his game up, but to do whatever he had to do to win. You know, kind of like Magic, kind of like Michael, but, you know, I was impressed for a guy with his athletic ability, which was not a lot, to be able to rebound the basketball, to really take the fundamentals of the game and take it to another level. I mean, everything fundamentally, if you watch Larry Bird, he did at a top level. I mean, but if I had to pick, because I start my team always with the center, and a point guard. So nothing taking nothing away from Michael. We all know he's the greatest player, but if I'm gonna start my guy with a team with a point guard or a center, I have to go with Magic Johnson, because now I can plug any 2, 3, 4, 5 with a Magic Johnson, and we'll have a chance to win.
You know, Reggie, I think getting back to Michael for a second, and I didn't know this until research told me, in your rookie year, you started one game, and it was against Chicago. You had 13 in the game. Michael had 38.
Good defense.
But when you're on the floor with him, because I want to get to Steve, too, on what it's like to be a teammate of him, but when you're on the floor against him, what was that all about?
Well, look, grew up in the LA area, was raised and trained by Magic Johnson. I patterned my game after Larry Bird. But being in the Central Division and going against Steve and the Bulls, and I agree with Charles, no question, to me, if I'm starting a team, it's Michael Jordan. Just for the simple side, and Smitty can attest to this, we had to guard him, 35 to 40 minutes a game. And he was the Shaq of shooting guards, because there's no way you were gonna move him off the post. He was cat quick, and on top of that, he was gonna embarrass you in front of your family and friends. So having said all that, if I'm starting a franchise, not only do I wanna put people in the seats, because Michael will do that, but his skill level was so far ahead of everyone else, I'm going with MJ.
What are the intangibles and the things that the average fan does not see? You can go to a game and watch him play, but to be around him day in, day out, what made him different?
I think just the will to win and the way that manifested itself in practice. I mean, every day was a battle. It really was. Whether it was a scrimmage, shooting drill, didn't matter. He wanted to win so badly, and that established the entire culture for the team. I mean, here's the greatest, most talented player on earth who's working harder than anybody. So if that doesn't kind of establish who you are, as an identity, as a team, I don't know what does.
Shaq, jump in here.
For me, it would have to be Magic Johnson, because if you look at the traditional point guard, they've always been not small, but smaller. Magic was the first oversized guy that excelled at being a point guard. He actually gave Chris and myself the confidence to be able to get the ball, take it off the glass, and go all the way. Mike, best player on the planet, never really had a chance to play against Larry Bird, but I actually used to hate Larry Bird. I hated him.
Well, why?
I mean, because, not hate him, I was sort of like, jealous of him, because he was a regular guy that did everything. He shouted in your face, he had to fade away. One time, I was watching a game, they was playing somebody, and I was betting this guy, and he was falling out of bounds, and he shot that thing over the backboard and it went in. And I was like, I thought most of what he did was luck, but as I, got older and kept watching, I just knew that it was skill. And, for him to even have his name mentioned in this category with Magic and Michael Jordan just shows how great of a player he was.
Yeah, I think Michael was the first great athlete that was the most fundamentally sound. Most great athletes, they don't try to be fundamentally sound, so they just jump over you, they run faster than you. But if you look at Michael, he'd have the correct hand in the passing lane. He'd have defensively, he's the only guy, he was Deion Sanders of basketball, where you wouldn't run a play on his side of the court because he was defensively could stop that side of the court. So, I don't think there's ever been anyone like him. So it's a two-part question: who's the best player ever, and maybe who you start your franchise with.
So that's it for this video, guys. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure you leave a like and also subscribe to the channel. Like I said at the beginning, we're releasing daily videos for all of 2021, so you don't want to miss out. And yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Thank you guys for watching, and have a great day.